Hey everyone, I'm Sylvia Moonbeam, and money is kind of tight for everyone right now. So I wanted to take a quick look at Age of the Prime's Wreck-Gar. I literally just got him today, haven't even tossed the box out. But I'm not going to do a traditional review like you might be expecting. I recognize that MGO and That Toy Guy already have their videos out. I mostly want to do this video to have the studio series Wreck-Gar and Trashmaster in comparison. So if you want, feel free to watch their videos. In fact, you'll probably, if you just want a review, you might like theirs more. But at least leave a comment saying you're gonna go watch another video. I won't judge you. But let's get the camera figured out and we'll continue with the whatever this is gonna be. Let's call it a discussion. All right, so if this is your very first time ever hearing the name Wreck-Gar, Wreck-Gar was introduced for the very first time in The Transformers, the movie. This is my copy that I just picked up like the other day. It's actually a 2021 re-release, but the original movie came out in 1986, a whole 7 years before I was born. And Wreck-Gar was introduced as the leader of the Junkions, a special subtype of Transformer that could put themselves back together after being horribly, horribly damaged. And this ability actually came in handy because they were able to rescue Ultra Magnus after he was gravely injured. And even in season 3, because Wreck-Gar appears in season 3, he acts as kind of a pseudo bit of comic relief while also acting as almost kind of a resource, a guide, if you will, when the Autobots are attempting to revive a friend who has fallen in battle. I won't say more, but if you have seen The Transformers, the movie, you might have an idea of someone who they might want to revive should they fall in battle. I know, reviewing, not trying to spoil a 39-year-old movie. Don't judge me. However, when I was a kid, Transformers Animated, or I think it's called Transformers Adventure in Japan, came out, and in its, I believe, second season, they revealed in, I think, so this would have been around 2014, 2015, this happened, had a new character named Wreck-Gar, who was, of course, inspired by the original. Now, obviously, these are very different characters, and to be fair, this one isn't really screen accurate. But the version of Wreck-Gar from Transformers Animated was voiced by music legend Weird Al Yankovic, and he was a garbage truck that was brought to life by a fragment of the Allspark, and he basically had a big old backpack full of garbage that he would use for props. He even had like a stop sign that he would use as a weapon. His toy came with these cool blades, which are kind of replicated on the shield thing he has. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, he was voiced by Weird Al Yankovic, and that was largely because in the original movie, where he was first introduced, Wreck-Gar's whole thing was that they learned about other cultures from radio waves, and so they talked like TV characters. If you've ever seen like kind of that comedy bit where like you'll flip through the channels and you have like the static and like little sound bites, or heck, if you've even watched the 2007 Transformers movie or that series and you've seen how Bumblebee talks using clips from the radio, it's very similar to what this Wreck-Gar does. And to advertise the kind of insanity of the characters, the Junkions, they had the Weird Al Yankovic song Dare to Be Stupid, which is, of course, another song full of pop culture references, like Charmin, and you got to squeeze all the Charmin you can while Mr. Ripple's not around. Like, it's a very silly song. And so having Weird Al come back and actually voice the character that his song kind of inspired or was they used theming for is actually really cool. But this figure is brand new and is a heavy recolor / minor retool, mostly just in the head, of Trashmaster. Now, Trashmaster works really, really well with all of the Junkions that have come out in the last couple years. He's got this kind of burnt sienna, dark orange, and the brown, and the kind of bolder red accents. He's got bolder red as opposed to kind of more of a lighter red. And it's a slightly different shade of silver. He's got kind of more of this gunmetal. Well, the only gunmetal I think we have on Wreck-Gar is going to be on his grill. Most of it is just kind of a light silver / shiny gray. Again, not really here to review these figures. Trashmaster was really cool, but even from the day he came out, we kind of knew he'd get remolded into Wreck-Gar someday. But you'll notice these are very similar figures. Even the paint on his chest windows isn't like while it is painted different, the mold is the same. It's just they used a different color silver and they changed the patterning a little bit. Or you can see, for example, we've got the burnt sienna, the dark brown shoulders with some red paint as opposed to just the red shoulder here. We've got, the brown waist section with a red, let's call it crotch plate. Well, it's just orange on Wreck-Gar. The legs are different. The feet are the same mold. It's just one has tan feet and one has red feet. These are effectively the same figure. And so I'm not going to be here to review them and say like, oh, this is amazing because it's Wreck-Gar. If you liked Trashmaster, you're going to like Wreck-Gar more because he's a familiar face. Trashmaster is basically a brand new character who has no real characterization. So if you just think he's cool, because look at that head. If you just want a Mad Max garbage truck, you're going to probably go with Trashmaster, right? Camera change. So hopefully by now I've made a bit of a point. If you are a fan of the G1 Grimlock, you're probably going to really like the Studio Series figure, except that's kind of hard to find nowadays. You can find remolds of it. I think there is even a remold with a similar head to Junkheap. But this guy's a good figure. He turns into a motorcycle. It's fun. You basically need to have a leader class or Voyager class figure to ride him as a motorcycle because deluxe classes are too small. And Junkheap is a cool guy. I actually really liked this figure and I liked making combiners of my Junkions with him, but I'm not really attached to him. The whole Junkion combiner thing is really neat, but unless you're a big fan of ripping your figures apart and coming up with weird chimera things, it can get old pretty quickly. I know there are a few channels like Bot Bender Orange. I'll have to actually look up his name just to double check and make sure I spell it right in my comments. Also, please double check the comments, not my comments, but my description, because I will have links to that toy guy and Emgo, because both of their reviews are really good. I'll also have links for Rodimus Primal and what is his name? The Basics. I'll just say The Basics. Because if you want to learn more lore about Wreck-Gar, watch their videos. They'll have a lot more comprehensive than what I gave. I just gave a really kind of quick and dirty lore. Botbender Orange is another one I'll link, who shows building like giant Junkion Tyrannosauruses and stuff. It's really cool. This has been a fun toy to play with, but it's not the character I wanted. This is the character I know, the character I grew up with in a more modern day mold. And so I'm not saying this is a perfect figure. No figure is perfect, except for Earthrise Optimus Prime, because as we all know, Earthrise Optimus Prime is the greatest figure that will ever exist. And if you say anything otherwise, you're wrong. she says jokingly, because I don't have an Earthrise Prime, I have a Siege Prime, and I personally like that figure, but we're not going to get into that because the Transformers fandom is toxic. Anyway, yeah, it's the version of Grimlock, not Grimlock, oh my gosh, it's the version of Wreck-Gar that I know and love, because I really like Weird Al Yankovic, and I really like Transformers Animated, and honestly, this guy I don't really have a big connection to because the movie was cool, but he's kind of a jerk, and he literally is just there to make pop culture references. Also, I'm pretty sure like he's got kind of like a weird con thing going on. His wife is like the character is his wife is a reference to Nancy Reagan. It's a very weird character. Again, lore stuff will be in the description if you care. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I had to pick between these two, this one has some fun colors, but I like this one a little bit more purely because it's a character I know and can make stories about. This guy's kind of a nobody, even though it's the same figure. In fact, this one I think actually has a little bit more paint. So the better question then comes down between these two. Both of them are really cool. This one is definitely more screen accurate. If you're a big Gen 1 collector, you're probably going to go with this one. But yeah, this is cool. I'm going to transform them all now just to show because that's fun. And I think I forgot to show that at the beginning. Ugh. Camera cut. I did it again. Man, I am struggling to transform this. I actually have done this before. Not the Grimlock, God, I keep saying Grimlock. I actually did like a whole take of this because I said like only Grimlock the entire video. Wreck-Gar. I don't know why I keep messing up their names. I mean, they're completely different characters. I think it's just because they've got a hard at the end of one syllable and another one that has a GR, even though they're completely different syllables. Yeah, I don't know. I can be an idiot sometimes. Like how I keep dropping this piece. Not gonna lie, the garbage truck, really fun alternate mode. Yeah. I'm having a little bit of trouble tabbing in the front wheel bit. That's mildly annoying. There we go. Can you tab in, please? Hello. There we go. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. There we go. Just kind of popcorns in once you got it right. Did I do that right? Doesn't really matter. It's fine. We'll fix it in post. There is no post. God dang it. Literally, this has just been 2 minutes of me on camera fumbling with a figure. How do I get the thing? I'm trying to do the thing with the claw. I'm gonna pause it, hold on. I had a hard time with the front of Trash Master too, but it was a lot easier, I think, largely just because I've, transformed, just because I've transformed them like 20 times. Dang it, I did something in the wrong order there. Something's in the wrong order. It's fine. It's fine. I really should have practiced this. Can't even talk right. I should have practiced this off camera. That went on first try. You saw that live. Did I not do this part right? I got that. Okay, cool. Maybe I'm just a baka. Sorry. What did I do differently? What's different? It looks the same. It looks the same. Why does this not going to go on? It's so weird. Like, even the, who knows? And now we get to the part of the video I'm going to regret doing because this guy is a pain in the butt to transform. I will say also, quality control thing. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. I'm back. I sneezed. For those of you who are in the comments who care about that kind of thing, I believe the correct comment would be Gesundheit times 4. You know who you are. That was for a specific person who I know will comment. Like they're gonna put Gesundheit times 4. Yeah. So this figure is, not gonna lie, kind of a pain in the butt to transform. It does a great job of being Wreck-Gar. I had to look at the box. I kept saying Grimlock. I said Grimlock so many times during my first attempt at filming this. Like, I could make an outtakes video of me just saying Grimlock, like, 40 times. It's Wreck-Gar. I'm an idiot, is the moral of the story. This figure is just a pain in the butt. I did it on accident. I sometimes would struggle with this figure. I did it on accident, like, first try there. What the heck? Oof. And then immediately messes it up. What the hell? Okay, it's also just been so long since I've transformed this figure. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just weird. Oh, that's right. I need to do that. It's not a bad figure. It's just a weird figure. How do I do this? That's right. I gotta do it like that. Why? Not Grimlock. Oh my god, it's still messing it up because I'm distracted and annoyed. Wreck-Gar, please play along. Wreck-Gar, please. Just a little, as a treat. There we go. Nailed it. 15th try. Am I doing this right? I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I'm just fumbling awkwardly. Yay. So if you hadn't realized, he turns into a motorcycle with guns on the front, because that's cool. It's such a mad, like, literally, if you ever wanted Mad Max as a planet, there we go. I can figure out the arms. If you ever wanted to just see, like, what if Mad Max had a bunch of aliens, or, like, was a planet of aliens, that's all that Junkion is. It's cool. It's silly. There we go. I think I still somehow messed. There we go. Plug. Trying to figure out how to transform a character I haven't really touched in like a couple years is certainly an interesting challenge. There's a reason this is in my donation box, like, of figures I'm going to get rid of, because he looks cool on a shelf, and that's about it. I value figures that are fun to play with, and this figure is not fun to play with. There we go. There we go. You just saw me fumble with a motorcycle for like 5 minutes. Yeah, there we go. So all of them are transformed. That took like 15 minutes to do all 3 of these. Honestly, Grimlock God, not Grimlock, Wreck-Gar. Oh my gosh. There's got to be some joke in there about why I'm stupidly keep mixing them up. Wreck-Gar. Wreck-Gar, it looks good. I think if you're going for like the Mad Max look, Mixmaster definitely kind of does the thing better. And especially with the big gaping like garbage truck maw on the back. If you want a Generation 1 Wreck-Gar, why are we even having this conversation? You're gonna go with this one. Because finding one that's from Generation 1 that's still intact and transforms and everything properly is gonna be impossible. And if you picked the Power of the Primes one or the Thrilling 30 one, you're wrong. They're not great figures. Notice though that the horns on my wheels on the sides are a little bent. Because these are made of a softer plastic and they bend over time. If you stick this in hot water, just the spikes, stick them in like boiling water, it should fix itself in a couple seconds, but not my cup of tea. This one has the color scheme I like and turns into a garbage truck that eats things. A couple other people, I think specifically both Emgo and that toy guy specifically mentioned that the tolerances on this figure are also a little bit tighter, except in the neck region, which means his head does do weird things, but the joints are tighter, which is nice because as you kind of saw with my own filming, Trashmaster kind of flops around a little bit, and be a shame if your Wreck-Gar, not your Grimlock, your Wreck-Gar flopped around. Yeah, this is just all objective. Anyway, thank you for watching. This has been 22 minutes of your life that you can't get back. See you next time. Check the description for links to people who are a lot more popular than me. Bye.